Okay, so Black Clover has just revealed not only some info on what Lucius is doing, but also the 3 remaining members of the 7 Ryuuzan. So if you can pull out your grimoire and use your magic on that like button, I'd greatly appreciate that. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Now in chapter 343, we got to see a little bit more action between Asta and Ichika, and that was quite the display in power, I'd gotta say. We finally got to see her use her scroll as well as some of her yojutsu. It also seems as though Asta did a lot better in this fight than he did in the last one. And right before Asta and Ichika had their final clash, Ryu came in just in time to stop both of them, and he did it quite casually, which leads people to believe that he was obviously lying about him not having any yojutsu. Yeah, Ryu, you're not slick. We see what you're doing here.
I smell cap.
And right after that battle ended, it seems as though Lily and her fellow paladins had pulled up to the land of the sun. Now we jump back to Lucius and he's greeting Morris. So apparently he's still alive.
What the hell?
Who'da knew he'd still be up and kicking? Well, kinda. He doesn't have any legs, but you know. So he got mixed up in Lucifero's manifestation. So he's only alive right now because of Lucius. And what's crazy here is he does a similar thing to how Lucifero's manifestation looked, but it looks like he's bringing back the dark triad here. And we see here Zenon, Dante, and Vanica.
What?
They're all obviously in bad shape, but I'm guessing with his soul magic, he's gonna be able to bring him back somehow. As he does here with Morris, he touches him and he seems to instantly regenerate. And as he says, this is a level far beyond recovery magic. He should have reconstructed his body. Now what's interesting here is he's going on about how he wants to conduct more experiments, but Lucius stops him before he can finish and taps him on his forehead, which seems to alter his mind, making him obedient. So yeah, it seems as though that's all that it takes to get someone to be loyal to him. We obviously seen the same phenomenon with Lily. All he did was tap her head and now she's a member of his crew. He then calls over his sister Lily, and this right here seems to be when he sent her on that mission to the land of the sun. So with his future sight, he was able to see that in the land of the sun, there poses a threat, their plan. And so he calls them over there. Now, as they're flying over the city, what's interesting here is no one's to be seen. So I'm guessing Ryu had evacuated everyone before they arrived.
Yeah, be quicker than that, buddy.
Obviously, Ryu also has future sight, so he's able to plan ahead, which is pretty clutch here. They then approach the shrine here that in the sea, and they break it apart. And that had to happen because yuuno here needed to be able to use his magic. He uses beast magic Holy Howl, and none other than the 5-headed dragon from the legend appears.
Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Now that is quite a magic power there. I'm guessing this magic allows him to control beasts or manipulate beasts, but nonetheless that is a pretty powerful ability as this huge dragon dwarfing the entire land of the sun just appears out of the ocean. But we see here on top of the building there's 5 members of the Ryuuzan, one of which we haven't seen yet, and they're getting ready to protect their land. And it pans over here to Asta, and he's on the ground again, getting another training session in a pinch as we get introduced to the last 2 members of the 7 Ryuuzan, and he's currently fighting the strongest of the 7 Ryuuzan, or at least as he states. So yeah, we finally know all the members of the 7 Ryuuzan. Although they weren't properly introduced yet, we don't know all their names, but we do see all of their characters. Although I am pretty worried about how Asta's going to perform in defending the land of the sun, seeing as he's still getting training and they've already arrived. But yeah, it seems as though this is where things are going to start taking a turn. Alright, well it looks like the paladins have made their move on the land of the sun. Unfortunately, Asta's still getting training at the moment, so he's not going to be able to contribute much. But they have the other 5 members to defend it, so I guess that makes sense. 5 members of the Ryuuzan against 5 dragon heads. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Well, if you made it this far, I appreciate you sticking around. If you could use your magic on that like button, I'd greatly appreciate that. Consider subscribing as well. You'll like it here, I promise. Well, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.